Hey, Damaris.
Thank you for coming to our webinar. We will be having. I had a technical difficulty, so
No
um,
problem.
yeah. So the reason for the webinar today is because, as you may know, that we all the businesses are having trouble with implementing AI. The majority of businesses, they're being busy because small medium businesses, they're run by one person, and they have no time to understand AI, to educate themselves. And this is why we're doing this webinar, so they can understand that instead of them trying to learn AI, which is complicated when they see it the first time, then we're teaching them, hey, you don't have to know it all, you don't have to implement it, let the professionals do it for you. And that way you can just focus on what you need, because some of them are doing marketing, are doing payroll and all this stuff. So it's like no way that they're gonna be implementing AI, because these things, they need some systems and integrations and all this stuff. So I wanna. This is Corey. Corey, I will let you introduce yourself, and Mario. Well, he knows me already. I'm in the mergers and acquisitions space, and I do roll-ups as well. So imagine, I wish that all the companies that I want to put in the roll-ups, I want to help them exit, they look pretty and they inside, but they're not. So we have to come inside and change the operations, put the customer service, make it a better experience for the customer, and all this is customized and is automated. So you actually, as the owner, you don't have to worry about it, because it's systematic, it's logistically done. From the moment the customer calls, you don't miss a phone call. And what they do is, if you work with calendars, then it will go to your calendar and schedule a calendar meeting with that prospect or client, and you don't have to worry about it. You have to just show up and prepare, if you need to be prepared for the first call. So after we do that with the companies that they're not ready for sale, like more than 75% of the businesses don't sell, and they're struggling to grow. Then the next step is, like, we see any cost that we can reduce, right? So the other one is, like, once the operations are pretty, then we implement the automation on the marketing and branding, because branding is going to be the most important thing that we're going to have nowadays, in order for people to trust who we are, who our company is. So I'll leave it with Corey right now, so he can introduce himself and then take it from here. Corey.
Thanks, Damaris. All right, Mario, how are you? Well, welcome. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. Thanks.
Buenos dias. I guess a little background for you. I did 20 years in the Army, so communications background, network engineering. Everyone refers to as the super geek. So just to kind of give you some concept and insight, I know a few things and dabble with quite a few stuff, right? And so now that we're in the AI space, as Damaris pointed out, been able to kind of identify a lot of those pain points that businesses are experiencing and looking to adapt, right? And so with that, we kind of put this together. So we're going to basically go over and show exactly how to break out of what we call the founder's trap. So that is the entire aspect of where the individual started a company and you had a vision to scale it, but as you grow, you find yourself trapped in what we call the founder's trap, right? So instead of working on your business, you're trapped working in it, and typically losing 15 to 20 hours every week to what we call calendar Tetris, chasing down lost leads, and putting out daily administrative fires. So growth is gridlocked because your manual bottlenecks are bleeding your profitability. So today we're going to go exactly through that. Over the next few minutes, we're going to cover the cost of inaction. So we'll quantify exactly where your business is taking capital and dropping leads. the front end revenue capture. So this is how you can deploy 24/7 agents that, as Tamara said, instantly answer every call, book appointments while people are asleep or on the job site, right? And then we have our middle funnel scalability. So this is how our content intelligence engines can put your brand's organic growth on complete autopilot. And then the back end piece is how for industries in medtech and fintech and legal, right? How we secure their entire ecosystem on private military grade servers to retain strictly compliant with HIPAA and GDPR regulations. So our mandate today is to show you how to build an unbreakable, invisible operations layer. So this connects the tools you already use, the systems you already have in place, and how to turn your manual leakage into leverage. So you can maximize your capital efficiency and allowing you to scale without adding expensive headcount or technical debt.
Right. I see your first slide, Corey. I don't know if you mean to do the second one. Yeah, that one.
Okay, it should show up. So this is the CNS, which ironically is my same initials, so it works really well, ironically. Kind of had a lot of fun with that. So think of your current business tools, right? So you guys have your CRM, your email, VoIP, your phones, and calendars. So all of those are typically isolated organs in a body, and without a nervous system, they can't talk to each other, right? So this is forcing human beings as now to act as the manual biological duct tape, right? MacGyvering it, if you will. So we have the non-invasive architecture. So we're not going to rip and replace your software, your tools that you have in place. We leave your team's favorite tools completely intact. Then we can build an underlying nervous system that syncs data across platforms instantly and perfectly without human intervention, right? Time efficiency. And the immediate ROI from this, from the integration layer, instantly reclaims 15 to 20 hours your team wastes essentially every single week doing the manual data shuffling.
And it's true, Corey. In reality, I've been testing this for the last couple of weeks, and since I do a lot of networking, I've been calling all these people that I met, and some of them I didn't meet, but I have their business cards. And I've been calling, and I'll tell you something. 1 out of 20 people I call, only one answers the phone, and it's not the right. Even that, like, it's not the right customer service. But those people who answers the phone, they're the ones who are busy the most. So we're seeing a lot of problems when it comes to the first phase of the company, which is the customer service, which can easily be automated and implemented. And every company is different, but they can be implemented easily in your company, so you're not losing prospects, you're not losing clients. So by implementing the customer service, what we call the voice, in this case, it can go from point A to B to C to D, and you increase retention in your company. And also the customers, they have great experience, and that's when the other steps are following up, that you can allow AI to follow up with them, to send them a happy birthday or 4th of July holiday email, so you keep in touch with them. Because if you don't do that, there is another company that is going to be attracted to them with better customer service, and then you're not going to have the pipeline of customers that you used to have before. And so it creates a disruption in your revenue and your profits. And if you want to grow, that's not the way to grow. And it's an easy fix, basically, right, Corey?
Yeah, that's correct. And that's a great segue for this piece. And, as it clearly points out, the average is 62% of inbound calls to mid-sized businesses go completely unanswered. Like you said, you did 1 in 20 in your experience that weren't answering. So when you have high intent clients that are hitting voicemails or not leaving a message. They're literally leaving and calling your competitor. So all the work and effort that you've put together for your business and your marketing, if you're not capturing them, you're literally paying the marketing for your competitor. So to kind of give you a real world example, we recently worked with a high-end med spa. They had a major problem. Their front-end desk staff was inconsistent. The owner was constantly getting calls routed to her personal phone after hours, and their high-ticket clients were actively complaining about a lack of customer service. They didn't feel valued. So we came in and integrated our conversational voice agent, right? And that directly integrated with their phone system and connected natively with their scheduling software like Calendly or Cal.com or whatever calendar preference that they have. Theirs was Calendly, and your CRM system, right? And we named this agent Anne. And so the result was they had 0 dropped or unanswered calls. The system handled all their inbound triage 24/7 during and after hours, obviously. But more importantly, the clients who spoke to Anne had hyper-tailored conversations. The AI made them feel so special and well cared for that clients actually came into the clinic asking to thank Anne in person. And so you instantly patch your revenue with leaks like this while delivering a concierge level experience completely on autopilot. And that's just one of the benefits that you can use integrating AI into your system.
Right, and I've been calling, and the people who already implemented this, they don't have to do it like all the way. AI asks you for a few questions as a prospect or customer, and then based on your answer, it can help you get the answer right away. But if it's something that you need to speak with the agent, right, with the live person, then you can let AI know, and that way you can be transferred to somebody else, because AI is limited and when it comes to complicated answers and questions.
Correct. Right. There's always the warm transfer to a live agent for emergencies or when the situation arises, right? Because we always want the customer to feel heard, valued, and appreciated, recognized for their needs. But the agent is there to handle 90% of the day-to-day or any of the inbound conversations. And so
Right. So let's say you need 2, 3 people for customer service. You can narrow down to one and lay AI, and that way you decrease the cost. But remember, all the key people that you have, you can promote them to the next level. So probably they can help you with the finding clients, right? Getting contracts and stuff like that. Instead of just being in the customer service, they're actually being promoted now instead of being replaced.
correct. Right. We never.
How long, Corey, I'm sorry, how long does it take to implement this in a business, the voice?
On average, depending on the complexity of the business itself, but usually from initial scope to implementation is typically between 2 to 3 weeks. Just depends on the complexity, but on average, we aim for about 2 weeks.
Yeah, we work with the small businesses, medium. We love to work with enterprises as well, like, real estate. Sometimes they have this huge company umbrella that all the agents are using, and we can fix the enterprise and implement this, and then all the agents under, and correct me if I'm wrong, Corey, all the agents under can benefit from it just by working with the mother of the company itself.
Correct. There really isn't that many limitations. It's just dealing with either compliance regulations or state rules, but your imagination is your limitation at this point.
Right. And talking about state rules, we also cover the compliance and regulation side of things, like industries like medical, law industry, accounting industry. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, we'll jump to that. First is what we call kind of the second tier. And so this is what we call the content intelligence piece. And this is taking essentially what you had your assistant, if you will, for your business, and you're answering calls, to now directing the content towards promoting your business, right? Taking your organic information, your videos, your content, your transformations that you have for your clientele, and being able to post that on the socials. So organically, everyone can kind of see your material, and it's all being edited. So essentially what is happening is you see people that are doing incredible work, but you don't have time to be a full-time social media manager, right? So you're too busy working in the business to work on it. And so again, case in point, we had a general contractor client who was already closing more jobs thanks to our voice agent capturing his missed calls, but he had a massive backlog of incredible before and after work that he already did from years before, but he hadn't posted any of them because he simply didn't have time to write captions and schedule it, right? So we deployed our content intelligence engine, and without him lifting a single finger, our back end ingested his raw photos and videos directly from his Google Drive, and then the AI automatically analyzed the transformations, wrote platform-specific posts in his brand and voice, scheduled them across all the media channels, and posted them. So while he and his team were out taking on new jobs, the system was churning out daily high-converting case studies on autopilot, and this integrates directly with the tools he was already using, right? So like Slack, for example, right? One-click approvals, right? For review of, yep, this looks good, I love this. And so you build massive local authority, organic growth with zero manual research or writing. Right?
Yeah, pretty much AI. Like, I try before, let's say last year, trying to post in social media, having somebody who can do it for me, and then they were making all these pictures and postings and stuff. But the limitation that happens when you have somebody there doing the work for marketing and branding is that you have no idea about the market. You don't have any idea what's trending at this particular moment. And AI does all the research online for you and see how many clicks have people have done in this posting because it's eye catching, right? Or what's the what's the best title that you can use in order for people to be like scrolling through the phone and saying, oh, I like this, and it's like 2-3 seconds that you have to catch the eye of the audience. And AI does it for you. So basically what we do is like we implement, like Corey says, all the marketing. You don't have, maybe you can spend maybe an hour if you want to oversee it for a week just to see how it's going. But basically this integrates into your drive and all the materials that you have. It creates automatically all the postings, all the pictures, everything out there, and then it connects to your social media, and it's just doing it, every day, every week, whatever you want it to be, to do it. So it's incredible. And people have tried to do it. Business owners, like I say, they're busy and they don't have the time to do this. And this is an implementation that you can save so many hours. And some people don't even put hours on the marketing. They don't even have marketing at all. They don't even have branding at all. So this is another team, another agent, another employee that's doing the best work for you and your business.
Yep, correct. It just kind of highlights a lot of the pain points that businesses are struggling with, right? They don't know how to research what's trending, right? Is it a month old or is it actually happening today? And then figuring out what the hooks are, what the style is, what the script needs to be. And then you have to structure that for all the different platforms and go and manage all that. So there's tools that will create stuff and post, but none of it's doing the research and none of it's putting that together in a hyper-tailored way to make sure it's effective for what is happening today and now versus weeks or months prior, right? So it keeps them relevant every single day for new content.
Yeah, and we haven't talked about like the emails too, where you can follow with prospects and everything is automatic. Because if I meet and I'm networking 20 people, I have to do all the work manually. I rather have a AI do it for me, and then I only show up for the Zoom meeting, which is a discovery call for 30 minutes. Everything else is done by AI. So in that way, I just don't call three people out of that 20. Imagine that. It's just I'm taking care of the 20 people. And if I don't do a Zoom with them because they're busy right now, they're not interested, then I have them in my emails, and the same AI creates newsletter for you. In that way, you keep in contact with them, because once you're not in contact with people, guess what? They don't want to talk to you after 2 weeks. The touch points is like right. If I met them today, within 7 days. After that, then it's hard to get them back and try to explain what you do, trying to tell them how you can collaborate with them.
Yep, exactly. And then, as you previously mentioned, right, the next tier or step is for the businesses that are in the compliance regulated areas, right? Medical, legal, finance. This is what we call
Accounting
the,
too, yeah.
yep, correct, right? So for the sovereign compliance, right? So when you bring AI into a highly regulated space, like those industries, you're using public tools, big example, ChatGPT, but that creates a massive, what is considered shadow AI data leaks, right? So specifically, you have to deal with regulations like the EU, the GDPR, or the General Data Protection Regulation. So for context, GDPR is the strictest privacy and security law in the world. So if a business mishandles personal data or lacks proper encryption, they face catastrophic fines and regulatory liability. So we had a client looking for a solution that could build a compliant infrastructure for tier one law firms. These firms needed to take highly sensitive case files, submit them securely, audit them against strict compliance requirements, be able to cite the relevant legal acts where discrepancies occurred, and then generate a step-by-step remediation report. We didn't just give them a chatbot. We actually built a sovereign or secure AI architecture. We deployed virtual private servers or VPSs on military grade AWS, right, Amazon Web Services, and KMS encryption, right, which is your key management. It connects securely into their existing secure email and document databases. And so this allows them to run on a system for complete autopilot. It audits documentation, checks it against the law, and delivers the compliance report. So instead of paying a high-end ticket legal team thousands of dollars and waiting weeks, the system can actually execute and deliver an immutable audit trail in a matter of minutes. So it is an enterprise-grade AI power with absolute regulatory safety.
And basically, how it works is that imagine having like a hard drive that you save everything, and instead on your computer in case it gets hacked, you save it in a cloud, or you save it like in a data little center within the organization. So all the organization, the people, the team, they can use AI, but the data like social security, name, address, date of birth, in case of the health industry, all your lab results, right? Like let's say if you're applying for a life insurance, they nobody can go online and find you and find everything about you. That's why we have these compliance and regulations, so that data stays inside and it's not leaking outside to the internet. So this is very important for industries like we mentioned, finance, accounting, health. Am I missing one industry here?
Legal,
The
right?
legal side,
Lawyers,
yeah. Exactly. So that's why AI, a lot of industries they were afraid of even using AI, but now having to implement this system within the organization, everybody's gonna be on the same page using AI, but it's all the customer information is being protected because if that is not protected, guess what? Somebody's gonna sue you, and you have to let every single person in that pipeline that has been leaked let them know. If you don't let them know, then we have a problem with the law.
Yep, that's correct. So here we go. Um, the culmination of all these tools in this structure allows you to have what we call the zero disruption integration, right? So the best part about everything I just showed you is that we do not rip and replace your software. So whether you use Salesforce, HubSpot, Go High Level, QuickBooks, or legacy EHR EMS system, all right, we can build the invisible nervous system, right? The central nervous system that connects them together. So your staff doesn't have to change their daily habits. We just automate the manual work happening between the screens. So you're no longer working in your business, you can work on it. And this gives you not only scalability tools and access, remediates any leaks and inefficiencies that are going on, but also ensures staying compliant and regulated for the different industries that you provide services in.
Right. So being a business mentor and being in mergers and acquisitions and doing roll-ups, all these transactions now require these type of integrations. Because all the when we talk about voice, updating your customer service at the beginning, right? Just putting a voice agent there that can help you schedule appointments and do all the A, B, C, D steps. Then we have the marketing and branding as well, that everything is automated. And now we have the compliance side. So when I have a seller that wants to go through the roll up, the problem is that all these companies, 2 years ago, all the companies were fine, right? Maybe they needed a little work, but now all these companies needs to integrate a better customer service. Okay, you want to exit your company, you have to implement branding and marketing so your revenue and profits can go up, and that way you can be able to exit because companies don't sell, especially now if they don't have AI and they don't understand it and it's just a quick fix. Then we're helping actually businesses, small businesses, even startups right now because they want to raise money for whatever idea they're doing. They have to be in compliance. They have to have marketing and sales, some type of profit that their idea is taking off. So all the companies I've seen, they need all these integrations. And a lot of people think that, okay, I'm going to learn AI and integrate it myself. It's impossible. I haven't found one person, one business owner, a small medium, that's run by one or two people, their partners, to do the implementation. So it's better just to leave it for the professionals because every single company will be case by case and implemented differently. We have to see, okay, I think you need this, it's customizable. That's what I'm trying to say. It's customizable to each company itself.
Yep, you're correct. And every business is unique. Their requirements are unique, and their tool set is unique, especially for the goals and what their current pain points are now, and what would be the most impactful and beneficial to them. And so that's one of the reasons why we offer a complimentary AI audit, just to better understand where they're at and how they can be successful moving forward in the AI space, and be able to provide them a actionable, live demo of tools and resources that would be most impactful to their business now.
Right, and we work with enterprises too because they have huge logistics nationwide, so it's more complex. But I I'm curious, I forgot to ask you, Corey, how long does it take to do the compliance or working with an enterprise to do the whole logistics and implementing all this?
I mean, those are definitely a case by case situation. Typically speaking, on average, it can take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, just because of how in depth that is for the audit and scope piece, especially for the compliance side and mapping that out. But generally speaking, you're looking at about 6 to 8 weeks for full implementation execution.
6 to 8 weeks. And also, I want to mention that we are looking to implement, to bring financing third-party companies, because let's say that a medium business is like, I have no budget for this.
Sure.
It's 10,000, whatever that amount is, 5,000, 2,500, whatever that is. That like, I have no marketing budget, or I have no money for this. So what we're trying to bring is financing companies that they can finance, like paying your credit card, obviously with less percentage that you have to pay in interest, just to make sure like we go implement it and you start working with this, you start gaining profits, and you're gonna get your money back for sure. That's we've seen it in companies where we have implemented this, and the companies actually are doing better after 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, depending on, again, what tool set that we're implementing, if you're talking voice, usually within the first month. The social content, same, usually about 4 to 6 weeks after everything is organically being pushed and the quality and stuff of the material, you start getting your ROI. The compliance side is more of, you can't afford not to be compliant, so it's ensuring that all those leaks or potential pitfalls are being properly mitigated and tracked, because it's constantly changing and updating. So it is a living, working process for sure. It is not a one and done.
Right, and I know it wasn't in the presentation, but I gotta mention this. I have a coach in California, and she's struggling right now. And I say, why don't you clone yourself? Why don't you make a twin of yourself and implement just the voice? Because she doesn't have much money to put into the business. She's having to take a job right now to pay her bills. But it's an easy fix. Like if she just implement as a coach the voice, where people can call and schedule with her, everything is automatic. She puts the marketing automation with the branding, and then she twin herself. It's like having three teams with her, but everything automated. And then in that way she can grow. But she's again like, I don't have the money, so I'm like, okay, let us bring a financing company that can help you, and you pay them slowly to them, but you already have a business in 2 weeks basically. So yeah, is there anything else you would like to say, Corey? I want to be respectful of our time. We're almost done in 5 minutes. And if anybody has a question too, please go ahead and unmute yourself. We can take questions. And again, we do the 20-minute free discovery call, 20 minutes for free, just to see how much we can help you guys. And we're going to be doing this webinar and different topics too. I'm trying to see if Friday works better. I feel like it's a holiday today. And we have Tanya. Tanya, happy birthday. I know your birthday is coming. Have fun. So if you in the future want to just sit down for 20 minutes and see what we can do for you guys, please don't hesitate. We're here to help businesses, small, medium, and startups and enterprises. And if you work with a big company umbrella, actually will be beneficial if we can talk to the people in charge and see how can we improve that company in order for everybody else using their systems, they can get improved, and you don't have to pay for voice. For example, if voice, that's not the price that we offer, because case by case, but just for an example, let's say that it costs $300 for a small company. But if you do the enterprise and everybody shares the cost, it can cost you $50 a month and you're using it. It's just an example of how can we help enterprises here or the companies that you work with. Yeah. So I guess nobody have questions, but I'll follow up with you and see how we can help you further. I will let you know what the other webinar is going to be. I'm going to be touching bases with scaling through acquisitions, also growing your company this way, like we talked about it today, and then roll-ups, right? A lot of roll-ups, what that means basically is a lot of fragmented companies out here that if you gather them all and consolidate them, you're making like a bigger company. So these bigger companies are rare. So the buyers, basically they pay higher multiple for it. I'll give you an example, a doctor from California. He's making $500,000 in EBITDA, meaning profits. And he just signed an LOI a few weeks ago for 4.8. If he sells outside in the market value, he's probably would have gotten 1.5, maybe $2 million. But so they couldn't believe it because like, why are they paying me double of what I can get? I don't understand the numbers. I do because I'm in this space and that's what I want to talk in a different webinar to teach everybody like the best way to exit is you being prepared. Your company has good financials, good customer service, everything is in place, and you can exit with the biggest amount that you probably didn't think about it. So I want to give the opportunity to these smaller companies that they're ready for exit in 2, 3 years, 5 years, to prepare themselves, and not a lot of them close doors without even knowing what they have. A lot of them, they're tired. They don't want to think about it. They just don't know. They go through a broker. And what happens is that the broker will sell the individual company. So all these smaller fragmented, they have no chance to sell at a higher multiple when it comes to make a bigger company, which is a roll-up. And not to say the IPO, right? We can talk about it in a different webinar about the IPO, different ways to exit or grow and scale your company. So I want to thank you, Corey, so much for your presentation today. Thank you, Mario, Tanya. I appreciate you guys being here, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks so much,
everyone.
Thanks. You have a good day, guys.